Good morning. How are you? Today, I want to review with you a little bit about stalls and roadblocks and what causes them, just so that if you are doing any of these things, stop. You probably have lost very good weight up to this point, but at this point, every little thing matters, and that's why we're getting nitpicky here. But I just want to give this information to you now so that if you are doing any of it, stop so that you enjoy the rest of the weight loss process. And so some of the stalls and roadblocks that we hear about all the time, one of the big ones is not reading the labels on the spices and condiments. Okay, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but you will be surprised if you take a look. My garlic salt, I could not believe had sugar in it. I think it was the first ingredient. I thought, what? I got garlic salt. I didn't say garlic sugar, but there's sugar in everything. So certain brands definitely are really bad at that. And so just make sure that you're, once again, being intentional about everything, but check your condiments, everything that you put in your food. Also cornstarch, okay, be careful about that. That's the starch, believe it or not, because it's called cornstarch. Or anything that's, potato starch or such. Another thing you may be noticing about now is if you loaded really, really well, you're probably doing pretty darn good at this point. If you didn't, like I did not, and I explained this to you guys earlier, that I didn't load my first round because I was not going to gain any weight. And it was pretty miserable in the sense of hunger. I was losing tremendous amount of weight, which never happened before. But I had a hunger that was uncomfortable. And Dr. Simeons does say if you have not loaded properly, it'll take a couple weeks. So if that's the case for you, you're almost there. But if you do have to add an occasional egg white or more vegetables, please do that. But it will go away. And so if you do have a second round to do, you are going to load better, right? Let's see what else. Another silly thing is, the rules are the rules, and this is because he spent 20-30 years on this protocol researching it. But do not mix vegetables. It sounds completely crazy, I know that. But if you're going to have a vegetable, that's the vegetable you're going to have. It was something about, he researched every single vegetables, how they work together, and how the weight loss worked. And he just found the components of the vegetables with HCG didn't promote, if there was a mixture, didn't promote the fastest weight loss. So in my mind, this is just not a lifestyle. This is a program, whatever it takes to get every single pound off you can as quickly as you can. So it sounds kind of silly, but just to watch the vegetables. You can, though, amazingly enough, have a fruit with your vegetable, like we talked about with the cucumber and apple. Chewing gum, lots of people ask me about this. A lot of people are okay with it. There's a lot of gums out there with a xylitol. That's pretty much the only one you want to do. Xylitol will somewhat raise your blood sugar, though. So if you're having chewing gum once a day or 15 times a day, that's going to be a difference. I personally didn't even touch this stuff because anything for me that was not going to get every single ounce off my body, I wasn't going there. So you can kind of try it out for yourself. If there's time that you absolutely have to have gum, and people do know this around this time is they're detoxing so that they feel like they have a nasty taste in their mouth, because it's a detoxing mouth, okay? It's detox breath. Carry a toothbrush and some toothpaste along, and then in between the day, just go brush your teeth, brush your tongue, and get rid of the toxins, the bacteria in your mouth, and you'll do fine. But again, if you do need gum, just use it sparingly, and then kind of watch your weight and see how you do with that. This is a big one for a lot of people, and was for me too, is drinking sodas. You cannot drink sodas, nor diet sodas on this program, and it just will not work. You cannot have any wine or alcohol on this program either. I'm mixing the two up here, but first of all, with the wine, I did want to forget to tell you this. If you're having alcohol, one serving will slow your fat burning down or almost halt it for 24 hours. You are completely wasting your time on this program if you're having alcohol. But what we find, though, is after a couple of weeks, people have no more desire for the alcohol, and they instead of having it on a daily basis in maintenance, they end up just having it here and there on the weekends because, again, they realize they don't really need it all that much, and they feel better without it. But that being said, you can decide how you're going to do it on maintenance, but for now, do understand, if you think you're going to sneak some wine in and lose weight, you may lose a little bit of weight, but it's going to stall you big time. With the diet sodas, I was a big low-carb monster fiend. I should have had part ownership of it because I drank it like a crazy person, and never did I think I would not drink it. But of course, I couldn't on the program, and I'm detoxed from it for 5-6 years already. I never have it anymore. But you cannot have it. There is a drink out there called Zevia, made with stevia. It has some other additives in it. If you absolutely feel you need one occasionally, I think you'll be okay doing that. But then again, that's not something you want to do on a daily basis. But stay away from sodas, okay? Let's see. Herbal teas. I like black tea, green tea, all those teas are fine, herbal teas. And then there's the ones with a lot of the fruit essences in there. The jury's out on that. People seem to do just fine with that. I know with Dr. Simeon's, in his manuscript, he talks about anything with fruit added to a tea even can stall you out. But you can I'm not sure when it says the essence of the fruit or whether it actually has a fruit in it. I'd probably just go with the ones that have the essence in it. But occasionally that is definitely a nice treat. And you can, again, monitor your weight loss on that. We're talking a little bit of, again, just like we did yesterday with lotions and makeup and stuff. And just, again, make sure that I meant to mention yesterday regarding makeup for women, just use a mineral powder. Don't use any cream foundations or whatever because they will have oils in them. I know there are some oil-free cream foundations. Be careful because how oil-free are they really? But you know, you can, if you need to test them out, you can. But I prefer you didn't. I'm gonna remind you again to drink your recommended amount of water, especially now because I mean, what, you're on day 8 already. You're detoxing like crazy, and that is a flushing. You're releasing a lot of toxicities into your system, and you want now to make sure that they're getting flushed out. As we talk about bowel movements, you better have them every day. And we're talking about drinking a lot of water. And so let's see, and that's just what I was going to talk, when we talked a little bit yesterday about bowel movements, so I'll leave it at that. Another thing that can be a roadblock for some is not enough variation in their proteins. If they have chicken, or fish, vary your protein back and forth a bit, okay? And to have just fish and seafood all day long, it's not the biggest punch of protein, so your weight loss will slow down a little bit. You can adapt so they have it once a day, but I suggest you don't have it 2 times a day every single day. The beef, I want to review that with you guys again. The American beef is quite high in fat, even the ground beef. So if you're, the best type of beef you're going to have is like filet mignon or a really, really lean steak. I forget what they're called, but anyways, there's some that are super that you can hardly see any marbling at all. Cut off anything visible and you're good to go with that. But when it comes to ground beef, I would just suggest you either do ground veal or you do ground bison, which is buffalo, and you get a lower fat content. But be careful with the beef. Now, people with type O's actually lose better eating beef as long as it's super, super lean. So for me, I'm an O. I would have beef every single day, one way or the other, and I lost weight a lot, but I made sure it was super lean. Beef or bison or red meat, I should say. But for those who are not a blood type O, if you're an A or a B or whatever, you definitely can have beef. It's just be careful on that, not to have that every single day, all right? And a couple other things is to be careful when you're eating at restaurants. And you can completely eat at restaurants. There's people that have to travel every single day of their weight loss program. But again, just make sure that when you're ordering your vegetables, you're verifying that there's no oil on them. With your salad, just ask for some lemon on the side, and you can eat really carefully that way. But always make sure that you ask them exactly what you want, and generally they won't have a problem making it the way you want it. Okay. And then, of course, the last thing is please continue to weigh yourself every single day. At this point, it should be fun weighing yourself. I mean, I remember for me to get on a scale almost killed me. And then once you start the process and you see the difference every single day, you actually do look forward to getting onto the scale. If the scale isn't moving every single day, please don't be disappointed. And I know it's very emotional when that doesn't happen. But for some of you, you'll have spurts of weight loss, like huge spurts of weight loss with some plateau and huge. So your averages will be the same, and others will lose a little bit every single day. So just get on the scale every single day. Enjoy the process. I'll see you tomorrow, you guys.